Okay, so there's some videos that we've already done about exploring how to make a shape, and mostly they're the geometric shapes that Adobe lets you automatically make with the square tool and the ellipse tool. But for especially exercise 2, right, we're going to be making more organic shapes. We might want to build them a little more freehand, right? So I'm going to show you some great tools for doing that. If you look in the toolbar under the paintbrush, there's something called the Blob Brush. Okay, so let me actually stop for a second. Let me draw a line. Here's a line segment. Let me zoom in. Let me give it, oh, where are you going, line? Give it some colors here, see? And you'll notice if I really zoom in, you can see there's this blue thing in the middle, right? We talked about what a stroke is, right? So we have a stroke. The difference of how the brush tool works is that now I can draw this across. Now let me select it with this so you can see all the things. You see that it's actually a shape that has a fill. It's a fill. So again, if we look, let's select our line, you'll see this line, right? It has a stroke on it. Versus this, it only has a fill, right? So the great thing about how this brush works is that I can go ahead and kind of overlap here, right? And it just aggregates that all, so you just have those contours, right? You have the contour of a shape, which is super handy. One other thing I should note about when you're in these types of brush tools, you're not limited to the size that's the default. If you use your left and right bracket keys on your keyboard, you can go ahead and make your things bigger or smaller. Okay? So that way, you don't have to spend 50 times going over this to make a shape like this, right? Then this is kind of like building up with clay, and then I'll show you how to kind of pick at it like as if it was like lapidary, like kind of like taking away from marble or something. The tool then that you can use in concert is the eraser tool. So now I switched over to the eraser tool, and I'm going to go ahead and make that a little smaller using my left bracket key, and I can go ahead and start shaping in like this. Okay? Now, say I have this and I wish this wasn't as sharp here, right? Right, eraser just takes away. I could, go through all the trouble of clicking on these anchor points and using the pen tool and this and that and the other, and that would just, make me grumpy cat. Instead, what we can do is just, actually we can just select the shape, and behind the pencil tool there's something called the smooth tool. And this smooth tool, by kind of just drawing over it, will gently start to smooth it out. That's why it's called the smooth tool, right? So if you notice it was sharp, if we go back in a couple states here with Command Z, remember Command Z is your best friend, we'll see that it was sharp here, and I'm like, boy, I sure wish that was soft right there. And so Command Shift Z goes back through that history, and this is not unlimited, right? So and you'll see that then I have this soft thing. So those are some good tools that I hope you see can be very helpful in making your shape, particularly during exercise 2 when we're making these organic shapes.